Hello, my friend. I have a special invitation for you. I have a new, potent, concentrated group coaching program called Crucible. We begin on April 10th. You can go check out timewitchery.com/crucible, and I'm going to tell you all about it at the end of the show. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Welcome to Mind Witchery. I'm your host, Natalie Miller, and I'm so glad you're here. Hello, my dear. It's time for a full moon episode. It's actually a day past time for a full moon episode. The full moon in Capricorn was yesterday. If you listen to Mind Witchery right when it comes out on Thursdays, the full moon in Capricorn was yesterday. And very on purpose, I thought I would release my questions for the full moon, just as it's still full, but not right on time. And that was in honor of this full moon, me being in my authority. Because to me, this full moon in Capricorn is all about you being fully in your authority. So we're going to talk about that concept today. And as always, really just ask a bunch of questions. As you all know, that is my favorite thing to do with lunations, is to ask questions, because to me, the symbolism of the astrology of the moment is inviting us to look at certain aspects of our lives or to look at certain concepts. And I just think when we get invited into those questions and that bigger perspective, we have more of our mind power, more of our awareness harnessed. Right? So we can live on purpose. All right, so the full moon in Capricorn. The full moon in Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Right? So the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is a Saturn-ruled sign. And Saturn is a planet of authority, a planet of boundaries, a planet of reality checks. So while the physical full moon will be very beautiful, there is perhaps a seriousness to this moment. It's really asking us to get real about what we are doing here on planet Earth. So when the moon is full in Capricorn, it means that the sun is in Leo. It's Leo season. The sun is in Leo. The sun rules Leo. So the sun is happy as I was going to say a clam, but there's nothing clam-like about the sun in Leo. The sun in Leo is happy as a lion, like laying out on a warm rock, sunning herself. So the sun is very powerful. And the moon is in Capricorn across the zodiac. And so the moon is actually not in the happiest, most comfortable place. The moon is as far away from home as she gets. The home of the moon is the sign of Cancer. That's where our beautiful new moon was this cycle. And the moon's traveled around to Capricorn, where the sun's full, buoyant, gorgeous light is shining on her. And she's here, ruled by Saturn, far away from home, a little harder to access. So we do well, I think, to do a little inquiry, ask some questions of ourselves to help us to get clear in a moment that might feel a little heavy or might even feel a little obstructed. You might be feeling obstructed in this moment. So the inquiries that I have for you, the questions for this full moon in Capricorn, I hope will help with that. There is planetary support for new perspective. I do want to say that. We can see this especially in the trine among Moon, Sun, and Uranus conjoining the North Node in Taurus. So Uranus gives like new revolutionary perspective, insight, and the North Node is where we're going, what we're hungry for, what we're wanting more of in this life. So this lunation, even though it might feel a little heavy or obstructed, there is so much potential in it for you to honor the commitments that you're making that are aligned with what you want, and also to shift both your external circumstances and maybe even more importantly, your internal narrative to help you to be committed to what you really want. Huh? Okay. So the questions I'm about to ask you are all in a book that my friend Leslie Tagorda and I wrote. It is called New and Full Moon Rituals for Entrepreneurs and Changemakers. And this little book has so much info for you. It's got guidance on how to create rituals for the new and full moons, if that's something that you are into. And it also has a little mini reading for every new moon of this year, 2022, including the questions I'm going to run through in this episode. So if you'd like to have that in a hard copy, grab a copy of the book. All right, so here is the first question for the full moon in Capricorn. It's actually 3 questions, but it's all kind of under one blanket. What is the story you are telling about your life? Where do you see yourself as its hero? And where do you need to reclaim creative control? Really, this question is so much about standing in your author-ity, right? To be the author of your life. What is the story you are telling? Is life happening to you? Or is life happening for you? Where especially do you get to be the hero of your story in your own mind? And implied here, where are you not seeing yourself as the hero of your story? Where are you seeing yourself as a victim or a bit player? We want to look at those places because that, my love, is where you need to reclaim creative control. So if you are the author of your life, what is your story about? What are you here for? I know that's a big question, but Saturn, ruler of this moon in Capricorn, moon in Capricorn and sun in Leo, like these placements are not really about small questions. It's about big questions. So where are you fully committed to realizing your intentions? So that is of the things that you want to do in this life, and that may be in your work, that may be in your community, that may be in your relationships, that may be in your own self and body, right? Where are you fully committed to realizing your intentions? And find a place that you really are, that's happening. And take a moment to appreciate, to give more value to what you feel and see as a result of that commitment. Like, I am fully committed to showing up for this podcast. That might be an example of mine. And what do I feel and see as a result? Like a growing body of work and just a lot of, happiness and excitement and pride. What do I see? I see the ability to help more people. Like, I can't coach everyone, but I can send you to a very coachy episode where I ask questions that are like the ones I would ask if we were talking one-on-one. Yeah? So where are you fully committed to realizing your intentions? And then in one of those places, take a moment to honor and appreciate what are the results of your commitment. I think our sun blazing in Leo does want to allow you to give yourself a gold medal in the spotlight. So definitely make time for that. But this is the full moon in Capricorn ruled by Saturn. And so we also want to see what is getting in the way. So here's a gentle question. Where are you unsteady in your commitment? And why? So, what's something that you want or you are intending that is a little wobbly? You're not fully committed to it. And why is that? What is getting in your way? The next question, I think, will probably go right to the heart of that. It's asking, what are the persistent doubts that you need to release? What are the limiting beliefs that you need to release? What are the outdated concepts that you need to release? What do you need to release in order to move forward with authority? As the author, the writer of your own life and your own life story. You know, this moon is in a kind of a broad relationship with Chiron, with the wounded healer. And there is potential for healing here. As we are looking at, okay, here's where I'm committed and here's where I'm not. As we discover what's in the way of full commitment. So, you might have a new venture you're really wanting to get off the ground. I'm trying to start my new coaching practice, or I'm trying to start my much more regular fitness and workout regimen, right? There may be something that you're intending, but not steady in the commitment. And by asking yourself, why am I not steady first? Just to check, right? Because it may be that you don't really want that thing. That could be totally possible. In which case, good to know. Let me disengage. Let me reclaim my authority. Let me stop feeling bad about this. Stop pussyfooting around this. And let me go sink my claws into what I really want. Do you see what I did there? Because, the sun is in Leo and the symbol is a lion, pussyfooting, claws. I amuse myself, love. So maybe your why is going to show you like, no, I actually don't want this thing. But if no, I do want this thing. I do want to write this book. I do want to start this business. I do want to go to Pilates every day, whatever it is for you. If I am to take my story in that direction, if I am to live my life in that direction, what are the doubts, the limiting beliefs, the outdated concepts I have about myself, about the world, about who I am and what I'm doing here? What do I need to let go of? Huh? Okay. So my co-creator, Leslie Tagorda, she pointed to an aspect of this lunation that I just love. And I love the way that she conceptualized it. So I want to be sure to spend a moment thinking about this. So the sun and moon are trine Uranus, and Uranus is planet of revolution, planet of seeing and doing things completely differently, right? For the longest time, especially in the kind of origins of astrology, we believed our solar system ended at Saturn. That's why it represents boundaries and like the edge, the end, the reality check. Turned out Uranus was just beyond. And Uranus not only surprised us by being there, but also continually surprises us by doing things really differently. Yeah? So when we think about Uranus and when we see Uranus prominent in a lunation or in your own chart, we are thinking, upheaval and doing things differently. So Leslie pointed out that when we're thinking about revolution, we're often thinking about leaping forward, right? We're thinking about cutting ties with the past and doing things futuristically differently, which maybe that speaks to you in this moment. Wow, it is time for a new chapter in my story. It is time for me as the protagonist to have a big shift or change in the way I am and the way I see myself, a leap forward. Yeah? But Leslie points out that revolution can also be a reaching backward, right? We're revolving. We're going back. We're going around in the cycle. In which case, maybe what you're doing is reclaiming a part of yourself you'd left behind. Maybe your revolution isn't so much leaping forward into who you've never been yet. Maybe it's more about reaching back to be again the way you once were. I have to say that idea of revolution, of going back, that's really been calling me. I was such a dreamy kid, everybody. I was like, many times I'm like floating just above the surface of the earth. I have a lot of air and water energy. And so I am able to drift and flow and to be actually quite light in the way that I move through life. Definitely was so when I was younger. I can think back to being a kid just lost in practicing music, lost in a book, in a good way, right? Like fully immersed in experience. And then even I can remember a version of myself in college who was just doing what she loved and not really experiencing a lot of push or pull or stress. I think that person is innate in me, and I am re-inhabiting that way of being more and more. I must say, professional life in the United States of America at the turn of the century, in the first decade and the first 2 decades, it kind of compressed me into a very different way of being. But I'm reclaiming that easeful, dreamy, creative self. And it feels beautiful. And just taking a moment to reflect on that helps me do it on purpose. And that's what I hope these questions will do for you. So, re-listen to the episode and or grab the book if you want the questions right in front of you. And even if you don't do that, I hope you'll spend a little time asking yourself the main pair of questions for the full moon in Capricorn. So number 1, where are you, the author, the hero of your life? Where are you committed to your intentions? Where are you doing what you want to be doing? Take a moment to celebrate that, to appreciate that. And then where are you not? Where are you not? Where are you unsteady? Where are you doubting? Where are you not doing things the way you want to be doing them? In those places, for your sake and frankly for all of our sakes. Because your fulfillment is a contribution to our fulfillment. So wherever things are going a way you would prefer they were not going, I hope you will start a revolution. Reaching back or leaping forward, I hope you will reclaim creative control. And please do know, my friend, that doing that does not have to be a grand gesture. It really doesn't. It can just be step by step, choice by choice, move by move, being who you want to be and doing what you want to do. Simple and not easy as that. All right, my love, as always, thank you so much for listening. Happy full moon, and bye for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Mind Witchery. To catch all the magic I'm offering, please subscribe to the show. Or if you want a little bit of weekly witchiness in your inbox, sign up for my Sunday letter at mindwitchery.com. If today's episode made you think of a friend or loved one, your sister, your neighbor, please tell them about it. We need more magic makers in this troubled world. Like all good things, this podcast is co-created by stellar people. Our music is by fabulous DJ, artist, and producer Shammy D. Our gorgeous art is by the sorcerers at New Moon Creative. Mind Witchery is produced in conjunction with Particulate Media, K.O. Myers, executive producer. And I am Natalie Miller. Till next time. Hello. As promised, here is a little bit of info about my new group coaching program called Crucible. You know what a crucible is? A crucible is a container in which transformation occurs. It's a strong container, basically like where you melt down metals so that you can make new things. You can make alloys. And my program is called Crucible because it is designed to give you a space where you can summon the courage, the inspiration, the momentum that you need to finally take action on, to finally manifest that thing that you have been wanting to do. And what is that thing? I don't know. That thing might be a new offer if you are an entrepreneur. That thing might be the idea for the book that's been swirling around in your head. It might be an outline for that book. It might be a whole short story. That thing might be a job description for the assistant that you've been wanting to hire. That thing might be your own podcast. Whatever that thing is that you keep thinking, oh, someday I'd really love to make this happen. Crucible says, let's do it now and let's do it together. So Crucible offers 7 weeks of group coaching. Crucible offers insight into how it is exactly that I take an idea and make it real. Right? Now, this is not about me kind of imposing my method onto you, but it is about sparking your own creativity and insisting on a self-honoring way of creating. Yeah? Crucible is about community with other people who are also making it happen. And I cannot even begin to put into words how valuable that is. How much of a difference it makes to be surrounded by other people who are expanding and growing into what's next. Crucible is in large measure about helping you to claim the time and energy that you need to create what's next. And so we'll use my anti-planner, Time Witchery, to do that. We will use co-working sessions that are hosted by Flow Club. I'm very excited about that part in particular. So Crucible is not assuming that you have the willpower and courage and time and energy to make this thing happen. In fact, Crucible says, oh yeah, let's give you a place to generate that, to generate all that you need in order to manifest what it is that you want next. So you are invited. You can go check out Crucible at timewitchery.com/crucible. We begin on April 10th. We go through April and most of May, and then we get to take off for the summer having finally taken action on that thing that you've been toying with, flirting with, wondering about, dreaming about for so long. So again, more details at timewitchery.com/crucible. I super hope you will meet me inside.